Do it.
Michaela, you ready? Oh, I was on there. Hello, lacrosse friends. We are live here at the 2019 Baggataway Cup. It is game number 2. Trent dominated Guelph in the first game. Now we have the 3-time defending champion Western Mustangs heading left to right, wearing their purple with the white numbers, facing the East third seed Nipissing Lakers, wearing the white with the blue numbers, going right to left. I'm Stephen Stamp, joined by Chris Maderi. Thanks for being with us. What's that?
I just said heyo.
Oh, okay. And there's quite a discussion going on here at the face-off dot.
Yeah, it looked like one of the players might have been lined up illegally.
Cody Arsenault for Western taking the draws. He's the honorable mention All-Canadian. And Western, Keegan Crowley with the ball. I love watching Keegan Crowley, the LSM play number 4. I figure every game you watch him, he does something that just makes your jaw drop.
That's how it is with these LSMs nowadays. They're just such a kind of jack-of-all-trades players that you got to keep your eye on them.
Yeah, they really are.
They have some tricks up their sleeve.
Western with control off the top. There's immediately an attack. Cody Ward's going to go track it down. I'll tell you, he is an all-time leading scorer. He's won three scoring titles. He's a 4-time All-Canadian for Western, and but he does so much more than just scoring. Here's Cole Davis. Go ahead.
It was a dangerous-looking pass before it got deflected. It was going to be a feed right in on crease.
Tristan Simeone behind the net, over to Pearson Noble. And Western just comes at you in waves, and you know that they're underdogs at this tournament because Brock has looked so dominant and won 2 games against Western this year. But Cody Ward behind the back, that one's a little bit wide. Looked like Will Ferguson or Andrew Wood, the goaltender for Nipissing, looked like he was on it. They'll get it back. Simeone with the ball. Over to Ward. Yeah, you talked to Jeremy Talevy, the head coach for Western. He is effusive about how much Cody Ward does for this team. Ward's going to get the ball behind the net here. Comes out from X, hits the cutter, behind the back rip. Nice attempt there by Nick Ferris, the Edmonton native. Came to Western a couple of years ago and said nothing but win with the club. Big contributor to this offense. We got a pretty neat story we're going to get to that you were just sharing about one of their defenders when we're down at the other end.
Absolutely.
Here's Cole Davis spinning, shooting, just wide. It may have been tipped by the goaltender.
So the 5th shot on goal for Western.
4th or 5th shot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many of them have actually been on goal. They've missed a couple of them.
That's true.
But Cole Davis with the ball. Some of the players, they filled out some questionnaires for the tournament to give us some information. And Cole Davis, they asked him for favorite athletes, and he said Jesse Owens and Jerome McGinley, because they're 2 black athletes who have done a ton. And here's Ward behind the back. Oh, I thought that was a shot. It turned out to be a pass. Well, they're going to say crease violation. I think they were calling it a shot, but I thought it was pretty impressive. I mean, Davis, I don't really ever notice particularly, but Davis, there aren't a lot of players of color in Kufla, and Cole Davis who identifying. So that was pretty cool to see his response there. He is plays such a big role for this Western team through the midfield. Simeone's going to slow it down, but they have so many contributors with Ward and Davis and Simeone and Ferris, and like we said, they just come at you in waves. The defense is outstanding. You've got Crowley, the LSM. You've got Hayden Nix and all kinds of guys in that defensive end. You got AJ Skirving is a honorable mention All-Canadian on defense. Won a Founders Cup a couple years ago with the Laura Mohawks. Just such a wealth of talent. Nipissing a little more concentrated in the talent. They're further up north. They don't have as large a pool of players to draw from. But boy, they have done an impressive job of bringing in some talent. There's a shot tipped aside. Nice save there by Wood. But Western will retain possession.
And when you're playing a team like Western that has this depth, that has this experience, that has this kind of established program, as an opponent it can be really daunting because it just, as you say, Stephen, it's just waves and waves. It's just attack after attack, and every single time they have fresh guys on the field, and it feels like it's just never ending.
Yeah. And you're talking about the attack, and you generally think of that as an offensive thing where you just keep going on. But the defense is the same way, where they come at you very aggressive defensively because they're so athletic in the defensive zone.
So that was a crease violation on the goalie there. Luckily, he got a shot right back into his stick immediately after.
Bit of a break for him. Here's a chance for Nipissing into the offensive zone, and Beau Peltier hands it back. And here's Tanner Poole, the scoring champion, who had just a brilliant year. Property of the Cobourg Kodiaks, I believe he'll be having a shot there next summer. But Poole has been outstanding for this club. The Barrie native. Quite a few Barrie guys on the roster. Well, just a few, I guess. But Nipissing, Scott Dominey, I thought it was so great last year for Nipissing. They really grew. Jason Rudge has done a terrific job building this program and really creating a competitive team. And they got into the playoffs, had a game with Queens to earn a trip to the Baggataway Cup. And unfortunately, at the end of that game, Scott Dominey took a vicious slash from a Queens player, a really dirty play that separated his shoulder, caused him to miss the Baggataway last year, which was so tough for them. And he'd just been drafted by the Toronto Rock. It cost him some time with them, but he got into a game, he scored a goal, and then was lights out for the Cobourg Kodiaks as a rookie in MSL this summer. And he has been just fantastic with this team. That's him with the ball right now, Scott Dominey. Kind of setting his man up, getting him on his back. That's John Kitt. Kitt, the St. Catharines native. So many St. Catharines guys go to Brock, so it's interesting to see one coming over to their arch rival in purple. And there's Hayden Nix, and I want you to tell everyone what you were just telling me before we came on air.
Yeah, Hayden Nix, he was a teammate of mine when I was playing for McGill. That was in 2012 through 2014. Just first of all, a very nice person, very smart guy. He's currently a med student at Western. If Western makes it to the championships, which obviously there's a fair chance of that happening, and they win, that will be Hayden Nix's 100th Kufla win of his life.
Just unbelievable.
Which is pretty cool.
In a league where you play, well, it was 12-game seasons. And now 10 games. I don't even know how that's possible, but you get to keep playing if you're in school. And with med school.
Exactly. So he's gotten a couple extra years of eligibility there. And and just to give you an idea of the type of player that Hayden Nix is, just before the game during warm-ups, a couple of the defenders were taking shots, and meanwhile Hayden Nix was just practicing his ground ball skills. He is just technical, no funny business, just a good, solid defender.
No nonsense. There's a pass picked off. Great job by Philip Mazuka. And there's Hayden Nix swooping
on the
in.
Ground ball.
And that's why you put that time in before the game.
That's
so you come up with the contested ground ball in traffic.
It's like he has a vacuum cleaner on his stick. It just sucks him right up.
Makes the pass ahead to John Kitt. I'm a big fan of John Kitt as well. I think he's a terrific defender. A nice pass ahead to Simeone to get things rolling, but that one's picked off. There's a great play by Braden Trace, the Elmvale native. Every player on this Nipissing roster is from Ontario except for Keegan Legere from Charlottetown, the backup goalie from Prince Edward Island. So very Ontario-centric club. In contrast, you have a handful, players from Alberta and BC. And at least one American, Ben Landers, a backup goalie again. So a lot of transplant goalies in the game.
We're seeing a lot of broken play here. It's been back and forth, up and down the field several times in a row now, with no one having solid possession.
And Keegan Crowley took that pass and saw Cody Ward down low, but kind of got the pass a little errant, and it was right down by Ward's feet, got away from him. Western pushing the pace, and it's fascinating to watch Western play because for years they were the slow it down, play offense, play defense, play your position, play your play your role in field lacrosse. And then they changed it up. They felt like they needed to switch things up a little bit, and really a pretty dramatic change in their style of play. And they'd push the pace, they'd force possession, force turnovers, and boy, it's been fantastic for them. Here's Sam Rooney, still fighting to get free, gets it across to the far side. Nice save there.
Big save.
Wow, Michael Orlando.
Hayden Nix on the ground ball again.
Yep. Orlando coming in this year after Manrej Najjar has been outstanding for Western, winning 3 straight championships with them, and apparently sick this year, is not able to play. And I believe he may be here. I'm not 100% sure. I heard that he probably was going to be here. He'd been around with the team, but
imagine he probably would be.
I would think so, yeah. But Manny Najjar, I'll tell you that, he has been such a big part of this program. And what a great kid, too. I mean, he just came in and was so excited to be part of the tradition Western was building. Here's Simeone. Isolating Simeone. There is some slide help available, so he's just going to pass it across. They'll try and reset things on the far side. That one gets away.
Setting up for a dodge now.
Cole Davis hands it off. Over to Julian Simeone. Nick Ferris. That's Ward tracking down the ball after it got stripped from him. Skip pass. Here's a chance. Oh, that one was blocked out front.
He's feeling that one.
Yeah, Quinn Harding, the face-off guy in long pole for Nipissing. Great pressure on the ride by Western to force that ball out of bounds, and Nix will start with possession for the Mustangs. And he gingerly walks back across the track. When you're wearing your turf cleats and you get onto the track, that is tricky.
Yeah, very, very slippy.
Western hanging on to possession. Simeone over to Ward. Cole Davis initiating from the top. Gets into space, it's shot, but it goes wide. May have actually been tipped on the way to the net. And you can see the crease at the top in front of Andrew Wood is
starting to look like a bit of a
little disheveled.
Dali painting out there.
Yeah. Davis Twister, beautiful finish on the run. Alley dodge from way up high.
You could kind of feel that goal was coming. you could feel that the goal was coming on because Western, as we said earlier, had several attempts. It seemed like it was only a matter of time.
Yeah, they're going to try and fix that crease. The ref's getting a look at it, and Andrew Wood gets out to give him a hand. It's funny, the rest, obviously that's the part of the crease that's going to get the most traffic, but the rest has been fine.
It's true.
Everywhere else has been okay.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just the way it is when they initially stick it down. Turf has all those kind of micro pellets of rubber, so sometimes it's hard for the tape to kind of adhere to the same place.
That's going to be a violation. Really early start. Arsenault just jumping, and Nipissing's going to get the ball. Bo Pelche on the team along with his brother, Kieran. We're number 9 for Nipissing. Pelche with the falling shot. It can be a little tricky as he's kind of dropping to the turf as he shot, and it's hard to tell for a goalie where that's going to go, but nice job there.
Coming from a weird angle.
Yeah, Orlando gets the stop.
Looks like Nipissing is running a fairly relaxed ride here, just leaving the goalie with all the decision. Sometimes when you put the pressure on the goalie like that, they make some forced choices.
Being pretty patient now. A young player, Orlando, and he makes the simple pass as he just left Michael Byrne open. Again, the short stick D midi, all Canadian.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this year there was a rule change that they took off the timer for the clear. There's no longer like a 30-second offensive zone touch that you have to get. Maybe this happened within the past few years. I know Tim mentioned it to me.
Oh, okay. I'd have to double check on that one. I don't recall the.
I didn't notice the referees counting the clear clock.
I've never noticed a particularly high level of urgency for most goalies to get the ball out of their defensive zone when they've had the ball. So
Yeah.
Western gets it back. Simeone. He's going to hand it over to Ward before play's blown back in. Pretty wholesale changes for both clubs. Nipissing shorthanded.
Running a very active man-down defense here. Lots of slides. We'll see how it plays out for them.
So 1 minute slashing call was the penalty on Braden Trace. But that ball gets away, and Nipissing has it all, but it's thrown right back to the Mustangs. Hustling in was John Kitt to grab it and get it up to the offense. Well, they still have the man advantage. Really unfortunate error for Nipissing. It's going to lead to a scoring chance here. Oh, it's tipped away, though. The active stick gets it away from Ward, but he tracks it down. That's one of the things Jeremy Talevy always talks about with Ward. He'll go get ground balls. He's very selfless as a player.
Wow. I mean, yeah, just as you said that, he threaded a very cool pass across crease. Unfortunately, his compatriot missed it.
Ward's always been a big scorer in the season. He hasn't always been a huge scorer in the playoffs. And, some people will look at that and be like, oh, he doesn't come through in the playoffs. And Jeremy Talevy's like, no, that's nonsense. He just plays a team game and teams focus on him. So he just facilitates for other people and plays an all-around game, which he does. We've got a timeout taken by Nipissing. Late here in the first quarter. We're under 30 seconds.
Only the one goal.
Yeah, that's a low-scoring game. And, of course, scores down around the league as we've gone from 20-minute quarters to 15-minute quarters. So games 60 minutes long now instead of 80. You're reducing the games by 25%. Scoring has come down commensurately. But even so, I've looked at, followed the scores through the season. There have been a lot of low-scoring games. Defense really coming to the fore.
Yeah, it seems like in this game, at least, both teams are coming out with a lot of energy. We've seen a lot of kind of clumsily dropped passes and maybe some forced decisions, and seems like both teams just need to settle and play their game.
Always a bit of nerves when you get to Baggataway Cup.
Of course.
You come out with energy. No, not one of those. I've got a glass that says lax on it, like it's a plastic, but it's like a reusable. I don't know. I filled it up and put it on a counter. Okay, thanks. So we'll come back out. Nipissing with the last chance to get on the board here in the first quarter. We'll start with Will Craig with the ball. Believe he was the league scoring leader. Had like 30 goals this year. What a season. They start to move. Back to Craig. Up to the top. Sam Rooney. Down the alley. Step back shot. Stopped by Orlando. And he's just going to loft it down the field and try and get something going for Western. What a catch by Cody Ward. Time's going to run out, but wow, that is a hell of a catch by Cody Ward in traffic on the long high pass. Ball going in and out of the lights. That's unbelievable. I mean, it didn't lead to a thing, but it just is jaw-dropping.
Yeah, it's like one of those halftime shots almost.
Yeah.
Or half-court shots.
Yeah, we're going to take a 2-minute break as it is quarter time. Western Mustangs 1, the Nipissing Lakers 0. I'm Stephen Stamp with Chris Mederi. This is Baggataway Cup 2019. Welcome back, lacrosse friends, to a chilly Percival Molson Stadium here on the campus of McGill University in Montreal. Second quarter, Western versus Nipissing at the 2019 Baggataway Cup.
Oh, yeah, big-time hits there off the face-off.
Oh, what a chance and the save. Just swooping in to scoop up that ball was Michael Byrne. The D-Midi we mentioned, he will do it. He's the All-Canadian D-Midi in the West, but he can do it at both ends of the field. You saw it there as he had a great scoring chance.
And Andrew Wood, too, an equally great save.
Western with possession once again. We were talking, there's a flag coming. So Western looking to take advantage of this as they play continuation. There's Ward, double team coming. He backs away. Skip passes there for him. He's going to fight through and get a shot off and scores.
Wow.
Cody Ward just fights through the checks. And a little underhand shot that just skips home.
Yeah, it was low and away for Andrew Wood, the lefty goalie. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised to see that go in. I wasn't expecting it.
It almost looked like Ward didn't feel like he had a shooting lane, and then all of a sudden just kind of let it go.
Yeah, indeed. It's pretty. I don't know if you find the same, but the style of lacrosse is completely different than the last game. I mean, the last game we were seeing, minutes and minutes of kind of orchestrated offensive play, and now we're seeing almost the opposite.
Well, the defense is just making it super hard on either team to control the ball, to set anything up in the offensive zone. I mean, the goals we've seen, the first one was Cole Davis just on an isolation dodge that he just went hard twister, and this one is Ward on the delayed penalty, just fighting off traffic, and honestly a shot that I don't know if he even takes if there's not a delayed penalty coming, because you want to hang on to the possession. I think he might have moved the ball there. I feel like he thought, hey, I got a chance, and here's a hard rip. That one's going to be stopped.
That was a
Western will get it.
Good man-up opportunity there for Western.
Oh, and there's another penalty was coming to Nipissing. So the player is heading off to the box to start serving. And
yeah, that was all Canadian Cody Ward on the goal there.
Yeah.
Seems like he might have practiced that shot once or twice.
He's not bad. Yeah, 4-time All-Canadian Cody Ward. We had some repeaters this year as Ward, his 4th time, and we had Adam Kirchmeier, the defender for Brock, who's been on as both an LSM and as a close defense, and then Nick Tchaikovsky from Trent, his 5th time as an All-Canadian, the first 3 with Nipissing, and then he goes to Trent for Teachers College and gets 2 more, and just a dominant player all over the field. But, the All-Canadians out on the website. You can see the story that I posted on kufla.ca. Go see all the All-Canadians, and you can follow the Baggataway Cup, see all the scores from the year, all the scoring leaders, the standings. Make sure you're with us tomorrow, as it will be semifinal action, the 11 a.m. game. And the game's starting a bit earlier because, as we mentioned in the first game, the Montreal Alouettes were going to be having, if they had home games in the playoffs, where originally the plan was, I believe, to be in Olympic Stadium. They decided they wanted to be here in Molson Stadium, and that's tomorrow. That's Sunday, which is why we have to move the championship game over to Concordia. But also it meant that this field had to be, and this facility had to be available for the Alouettes. I believe it's 26 hours before the game, so we have to finish tomorrow. So 11 and 1 are the games. 11 will be the West number 1 seed Brock Badgers against the winner of tonight's first quarterfinal, the Trent Excalibur, in a rematch of last year's semi. And the other game will see the host and East number 1 McGill playing the winner of tonight's second game. Right now, the Western leads 3-0 and are starting to establish some control. And a little bit more with a sidearm rip. What a shot from Nick Ferris. He's a sniper from Edmonton, and he has buried one here.
Yeah, that was just a laser of a shot from about 15 yards out from the point.
Well, very impressive the way that Western has been able to control, I think, the Nipissing star forwards, the attack and the middies, and Scott Dominy and Tanner Poole, both All-Canadians. Dominy at midi and Poole actually also at midi, and then Will Craig on attack as an honorable mention. And it's just led to this control for Western in the offensive zone. And now the offense is clicking with a few goals here in the first, this is just the one in the first quarter, 3 in the first 3 minutes of the second quarter, and Western really establishing control.
Absolutely, and they're very strong on the faceoff too. It seems. I think they've won over 70% of the faceoffs. I mean, that's speculative, but I don't think I've seen a faceoff go to Nipissing at all this game yet.
You remind me, in the summer I called Major Series lacrosse games, home games for Peter Morant Coburg with Jim Wasson. He's a member of 4 Lacrosse Halls of Fame. Great player, great guy. And he was doing color with me. And he would say, I think the faceoffs are about 60% for this team, and they've got 90% of this. He'd pull these numbers out, and I'd be like, you've been writing down the numbers. He's like, no, it's just that's approximate. I'm guessing there.
It's like Rain Man.
Right? The savant.
I'm an excellent driver.
I get to drive slow in the driveway. But it's a really strong effort here in the second quarter by Western, and that's the kind of thing they've done to teams over the last few years, right? Where they'll play you tight, it'll look close, and teams feel like they're competing, and then Western all of a sudden goes on a little run, and they capitalize on mistakes.
Yeah, and I think it's part of what you were talking about earlier about having depth. Like when you have that kind of continued energy, and every single player is, either all Canadian or well above average, and and it can feel relentless for opponents. And when you start to get tired, and their third string guys are pretty much as good as their first string guys, and it's just becomes just a never ending attack.
And again, you say attack, but I'd reiterate again, it's at both ends of the field.
Yeah, never-ending pressure. Never-ending pressure.
The defense is on you all the time.
Yeah, and on you in the most annoying way. They have the head of their stick right in between your arms, right under your armpit. It's just a really uncomfortable way to play lacrosse when a defender's right up in your grill like that.
Tanner Poole starts with possession for Nipissing, throws it across to the far side, but he'll get it back at the top. See if these Nipissing offensive stars can get something going. We are back to even strength after a couple of Nipissing penalties. Poole backpedaling, and then there's John Gregg, another one of those depth guys, not one of the guys that's been big over the last couple of years, but with the pressure. And then Scott Dominey may have forced that shot a little bit. I think he's looking pretty shaken up on the field. Penalty is coming to Western. And it is John Gregg. Moments after I'd been praising him for how well he's playing, takes the penalty. That happens.
Dominy's walking a little bit gingerly on his leg after that hit. Right leg looking a little tender.
We'll see how he does. Cuts out. Poole thought about going to Dominey. Now they go skip past and then into the middle. Nice spinning attempt there by Beau Peltier. And Western's going to get it. A little discussion about who it went off of. And it was off Nipissing, so it's Western ball. Pass to Orlando behind the net. Back over to A.J. Skirving, the honorable mention All-Canadian.
Both teams running a similar ride, leaving the goalie unmanned so that you can pressure all the other players.
Cody Ward slowing things down while Western kills the remainder of the penalty. Cross-checking called on John Gregg. They're back at full strength, leading 4-0. 5.5 minutes into the second quarter. I'm Stephen Stamp with Chris Mederi. Thanks for being with us here at the Baggataway Cup. Taking their time, they set things up at the top, throwing the ball over to Ryan McLean from Okotoks, Alberta. Obviously, Alberta making a name for itself, really rising in the lacrosse power rankings in this country.
The sport's growing a lot, even in a country that is already it's already quite popular. Yeah, all over the world it seems to be gaining some momentum.
Actually, probably growing more in other countries.
I agree. I agree with that.
I know. I talked to my colleague at Inside Lacrosse, Niall Indoor, Marty O'Neill, and he is always talking about how minor lacrosse registration is down. What a shot from the outside. Nice little sidearm skipper from Rowan McLaughlin.
Yeah, I think that's the maybe third or fourth shot that Andrew Wood's taken low and away, and it's there's not a lot you can do as a defender. You know, people are going to shoot from 15 yards away. That's not a very high percentage shot. Yeah, it's on the keeper to keep those out.
But yeah, Marty's always talking about how minor lacrosse registration is down, and we're nearing crisis levels. And I mean, there's still so many good lacrosse players, but it is important. I'll tell you, I wrote a story for the OLA magazine last year about the tri-lacrosse program. And that, to me, is a shining hope for the game in this country, where they would go and they do free clinics for kids new to the game.
Cool.
In any city, and OLA was helping, they providing materials, and you'd go and it was free, and you'd get signed up, and the insurance was all taken care of. They sort of figured it out, and I'll tell you, I talked to somebody from Nipissing about it. Actually, the father of Sam Firth, who's been a great Kufla player with Bishops, and he was saying, yeah, you know, we had all these kids come in, and we did pretty well. We had like 30 or 40% of the kids signed up for an ongoing program.
That's
and I was
great,
like,
yeah.
Pretty well? That's incredible. Like, signed up for paid, ongoing lacrosse programs because they love what they're doing in the tri-lacrosse. So I think that's very promising, very hopeful.
Yeah, that's how you grow the sport.
Yeah.
You know, you got to do it.
Sticks in hands.
That's it.
Right now, Western has the ball in their sticks, in their hands, up 5-0 with 7 minutes to go in the first half. And Nipissing can't afford to give up more goals. They need to just kind of slow things down, get into the locker room and regroup, ideally get a goal or two before the half. Tight defensive pressure applied by Nipissing. But Western just taking their time.
Even as little as winning a face-off would be good for Nipissing, because Western just got the ball right back after their goal.
Well, that one hit that top part of the crease and kind of moved the crease, bounced a little funny. Wood made the save. Now we're going to have a violation, and Nipissing will get the ball.
Hope Andrew Wood's okay. He's looking.
Yeah, he's a little shaken up, and actually going to call for the trainer, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He did make the save. It looked like on the shot that moved the crease a bit. Hopefully, it didn't bounce up into his nether regions there.
I've said it before. I don't know how anybody plays net.
I don't know.
It's field lacrosse. It's a crazy position. We were talking with Cameron Dunkerley, who's a goalie. Plays. Was just in the Minto Cup this year with the Victoria Shamrocks. He was drafted by the Saskatchewan Rush. Plays. Actually went to OFSA field lacrosse a couple of times with his high school in Caledon, and I said, I don't know how guys play goalie in field lacrosse. He said, it's a crazy position.
It's a crazy position. It's a crazy position.
So little padding.
Yeah, I mean, and guys are taking, the fastest shooters will take 130 kilometers an hour shots at you from 10 yards away. I mean, it's insane. You got to be a special type of crazy for that position. Of course, people say the same about the face-off X, which is what I used to play too. So. I guess each spot has
there's a level of crazy for playing face-off, but you don't have guys whipping balls at you for the most part. Occasionally.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you kidding me on that goal? What a play by Bo Pelche as he drives to the net, runs into 3 Western defenders, and actually lifted up off the ground by the check and still gets the shot off and bounces it home. That's a brilliant play and couldn't have come at a better time for Nipissing.
Yeah, they needed it. Sometimes the hero dodges work out. You know, they do.
Mm-hmm. Case in point.
Right there, yeah. That's where their allure comes from.
Exactly. They look spectacular when they work out.
That's it.
Another face-off win by the master, Cody Arsenault from Calgary. Ward actually drops that ball. It's picked up by Wood, who, good thing he's been able to stay in.
Yeah.
Some pressure. He gets the ball handed off to Braden Trace.
Ooh. Wood taking a hit there.
Cody Ward, he scored a ton of goals in Kufla. That's probably the easiest one ever.
Yeah, I agree. And I was going to mention it earlier. Western's ride seems to be working pretty well for them.
So much pressure.
Yeah, it looks uncomfortable, to say the least, for Nipissing.
Well, it's interesting. When so many teams, when they ride, they try and put that pressure on, and the team they're riding will just find the open man and just make it look like a waste of energy, a waste of effort to put that pressure on. But Western is so good on the off-ball coverage on the ride.
It's true. It's true, yeah.
Players just feel like there's nowhere to go.
Every man matters on the ride. You really, you really.
One guy's open and it's broken.
Exactly, exactly.
Oh, that's an early start. Cody Arsenault is very good on the faceoffs, but he's had 2 that he's jumped on before the ref even got the whistle to his lips.
I think it's the only 2 that he's lost.
Oh, it is. It is. And we've had, 9 faceoffs so far, so that's 7-2.
Yeah.
We've got him at roughly?
Roughly, yes, roughly.
Yes. Tanner Poole will hand it off to Will Craig. That is their dangerous triumvirate right there with Poole and Craig, and then Scott Dominey kind of making a triangle with them. He's going to cut down low now, actually cut around behind X. To Poole. Oh, what a great strip. Hayden Nix there knocking that one loose. Nice play by the Nipissing pole to just shovel it ahead, not stepping over the line. You can reach with your stick, and he made a full extension, got it back to the O. Boy, you talked about on the ride how Western has the pressure, and we talked about the off-ball pressure. Same thing here on the defense. The off-ball defense is so good that you can see Nipissing guys are just wondering where they can throw a pass.
Yeah. I mean, and you saw the pressure there. I mean, all the way out, almost to the sideline. It's like beyond the box. The man with the ball had a defenseman right on his hands.
Which is great if you can make it work, but it's so dangerous for those backside cuts. But there you can see Dominey stripped.
Yeah.
Great defensive play by John Kitt, who, again, he's one of those guys who was one of their depth defenders, very good defender. He's been very good for them for several years now. But now he's stepping up as one of the top guys, and he's been great.
And then, conversely, Nipissing's ride, which looks to be similar in style, just not working. Western, knows exactly how to clear against that type of ride.
They've got Western has so many veteran players, and they have the poise that you ride them, and they just say, "Okay, 2 guys are coming from here. That means somebody's open. Right there."
It is simple math. It is simple math. Like it's not. It is not rocket science. You just have to stay calm and take your time.
Simeone skip pass, gets it up top to Ferris, who moves it across to Cole Davis.
Now it's a moving pick call. Yeah, got to have your feet set.
There's a great clear, just using speed and elusiveness by Jack Drinkwalter from North Bay.
Penalty on the play. It'll be on Western. Potentially for that slash, just as someone was coming over the midline.
Great save by Michael Orlando, who hasn't faced a ton of shots and is very sharp when he does face one there from Sam Rooney. As I said, I didn't see who went into the box for Western. Nobody did. They eventually have to send
someone in there.
Yeah, they've got John Gregg over there now. Or is it, I think it's actually Julian Simeone has gone in. But they didn't originally have someone in the box. They said, hey, you got to go in there. You got to get that penalty time ticking down. Here's a big chance. And the hard rip by Poole. Wow. What a shot. Tanner Poole.
That's that three-quarter shot we were talking about last game.
Yeah.
Really hard to stop for a keeper. Nipissing's showing some signs of life here at the end of the second quarter.
Yeah.
It's nice to see. Seen a lot of shots go in from 12, 15 yards out.
And I mean, some of that, a lot of bounce shots.
Mm-hmm.
And, when the year as we go on, the conditions tend to get colder. But with a bit of snow, the ground definitely harder than you used to, and it definitely affects the way the ball bounces.
Absolutely.
As much as you can warm your goalie up and pregame and you can get him ready, it's still a little different when you start facing those bouncers on the harder turf.
Absolutely. And sometimes the one bounce will be on the hard turf, and then the next bounce will be on a snowy spot, and it won't
Right.
bounce at all. And it's like it doesn't leave you much chance as a goalie.
So there's a penalty coming, kind of a delayed call. So we're into the final seconds here of the first half. Western up 6-2. And Julian Simeone's going back, and I'm wondering if he left early or if it's just another procedure penalty. Let's see. Michael Orlando just flipping that crease back over. And Nipissing setting up on the man advantage. Be huge if they get another one, but the pass to Domini is just a little out of his reach.
Yeah,
He's going to
it's
roll out of play.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
And that'll pretty much do it for the half as Western's going to get possession. Oh, no.
And you can see just how slick that surface is.
Oh, the track is obviously worse, and Kit got there and started to slide, and you can just see the feet going in different directions. You're like, oh, and you're cold. You just don't hurt anything, John Kit. And he's okay. He'll leave the ball there for the second half. We'll go to the break with Western leading Nipissing 6-2. I'm Stephen Stamp with Chris Maderi. Thanks for being with us here at the Baggataway Cup 2019. We'll be back in 10 minutes with the second half. Well, welcome back, lacrosse friends, to the 2019 Baggataway Cup. I'm Stephen Stamp with Chris Maderi. The players who returned from their warm dressing rooms. And Michaela and Chris and I have returned from the warm room just across the hall.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is a chilly night here at Percival Olson Stadium on the campus of McGill University in Montreal.
Yep, we are definitely below freezing here.
Yes.
And
we have the camera, the bay door open so that Michaela can film without the doors in the way. So it's all her fault. It's a lovely evening for lacrosse, though. Really, I mean, the winds have calmed down. The snow isn't falling. It's the conditions aren't too bad. We really haven't seen much slipping on the field, so things are going very well. And really well for the Western Mustangs. After a 1-0 first quarter, they got up 6-1 with a very strong second quarter. A late goal by Tanner Poole brought Nipissing back within 4, but Western starting possession of the second half with the ball. A little switch hand shot by Ferris. Doesn't connect. Oh, but he knocks down the ball on the ride, and boy, Western's just getting the ball back over and over again. Round the world attempt, he just misses.
Wow. You know, a solid number of Western shots have been behind the back.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Davis dodging. That's how he scored the first goal of the game, was from that dodge from up top, and he gets another one.
Wow.
This time a double clutch and then a little hop shot. And bounces it between the legs, a little 5-hole marker. Cole Davis.
Yeah, it seems like Nipissing's slide package just is not working yet, because we've seen several players for Western dodge the initial defender and then re-dodge the slide for a solid scoring opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you saw Davis just kind of throw the fake, tuck it in, and a few more steps. And he's so quick. I mean, he's got great footwork on that diagonal dodge there.
Yeah, and it looks like his release is quite quick as well. He went from, full sprint to shot, in just less than a second.
Procedure violation will award the ball to Western. And Beau Pelche. Oh, we are gonna have a penalty going the other way. It's Pelche. Now, Pelche was holding on to the ball. Yeah, and he's going to go for delay of game because he held on, didn't put the ball down. I thought the penalty was coming on the Western player who knocked his stick out of his hands. I thought, hey, he's holding on to the ball.
I was going to say that's a bit of a stiff call there.
Yeah, but no, Pelche gets it for delay. So
yeah, a little bit of a late, but I think it's an okay call.
Yeah. I agree with it. You can't just stand there hanging on to the ball. If the guy has to knock it loose, you've already gone past the point where you should have put it down.
No, and this is something that comes with experience too, knowing to just drop the ball right away instead of you holding on to it.
There's an element of frustration, I would think. You're trailing 7-2, and come in with high hopes and really getting pretty solidly outplayed at this point by Western. The offense doing good stuff for Western, but the defense really impressive, limiting Scott Dominy, Tanner Poole, and Will Craig, the all-Canadian trio. Very little impact they've had on this game so far.
It has just been locked down.
Yeah. Cole Davis missed the pass, but tracks back to get it. Beats his man, comes down, passes in front. What a play. Great feed to the perfect spot. And Nick Ferris has his second on a beautiful quick stick.
Yeah, good pass, good finish. Not much else to say there about that play.
Well, and Davis, I mean, we've seen him score a couple times on the dodge from the top where he just initiates and goes and just breaks down. And this time, again, waits to the draw and then to draw the defender. And this dishes off. But Ferris just had his defender on his back, popped out, just a little flash cut, just a step or two to get himself into position to take the pass. And the ball's gone before anybody can adjust to it. Oh, and it looked like we were going to have a face-off win there for Tyler Loney from Cayuga, Ontario. And
fumbled it out of...
Yeah.
Oh.
Just a late bump there.
Some more friendly words being exchanged there. Absolutely. Better
Two flags fly from the same ref and at the same toss. I'm curious if he meant to throw them both or if they just happened to come out together. Are they separate hands? Was it two hands or was it one hand that pulled? I thought one hand just pulled them both out.
Dual wielding penalties.
Yeah. Kufla lacrosse coverage live with sound effects.
That's it. That's it.
So one player from each team is going after that extracurricular activity.
Yeah, it's probably double unsportsmanlike. Yeah.
Seems fair. 8-2 Western leads. Nipissing with the ball. Oh, and the pass from Domini just immediately knocked away.
And this is what we were talking about, just the lockdown defense. In transition now, Western, another goal.
Wow.
And that goal was from Trenton Simeone, assistant from Keegan Crowley.
Yeah, so Keegan Crowley, the LSM, who's just been a staple on all tournament teams, and he's the All-Canadian LSM for the West Division, and he's such a difference maker, a real impact player. And gets it ahead. Tristan Simeone, who scored some huge goals for Western over the last couple of Baggataway Cups. Jonathan Gallardi coming out to take the face-off for Western. So, you talked earlier about Western just sending waves of players, and, they send another guy out to take the draw, and Nipissing does come away with one. A chance at the net. Oh, a bouncer. Turned aside by Orlando. Great effort, though, by Tyler Loney.
That might have been the first clean face-off win we've seen of the tournament so far.
All night, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, wide open up front. What a save, Orlando. Will Craig was left alone. Almost had too much time on that one. Here's A.J. Skirving. The lock's flying behind him. He's known for that lettuce hanging out the back of the bucket. There's Ward. And he's stripped. Boy, that is rare. And he is right after Scott Domini. You can see the pressure. That is why Jeremy Talevi likes Cody Ward so much. Loses the ball, is immediately pressuring to try and get it back. And Nipissing gets one at the other end. Beau Pelche, who's been really their top guy. We were talking at the half, people saying, Western just shutting down the Nipissing trio of Poole, Domini, and Craig. And Pelche's been the guy who's been stepping up and saying, okay, if you're going to make us win it, or make us do the work, I'll try and do it.
And that was Poole on the assist there. You can't always shut down completely the best players like that. They're going to get their points. And it comes at a pretty important time for Nipissing. I mean, that was one of their only offensive possessions. They made a quick conversion.
8:08 to play here in the third quarter. 8-3 the score. Western ahead. Cody Arsenault back out for Western. And he's going to win it over to Crowley, who lobs it back to him. Arsenault bobbles the ball. He's just more comfortable when it's on the ground. Oh, he dives after it, but can't quite get there in time.
Love the commitment, though.
Boy, he slid a long way, too.
Yeah.
Right, pretty much right into the Nipissing bench. There's the pressure again from Western, and Simeone's going to get the ball back. And it was Cody Ward leading the ride. Now Ward's going to be patient as they get the offense out. Over to Simeone. We got an offside call on Western. I think they just had an imprecise change over the box.
I totally agree. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, it's a fairly simple thing, but there are pretty strict rules about the change box, where you come in, come out. And sometimes you just get a little lackadaisical. Nothing lackadaisical about Beau Pelche tonight. His third goal and an absolute sidearm rocket.
And that's why you got to be on point on those changes. The little things matter. Then you can see how Nipissing just capitalized on a quick goal, another quick goal.
2 in a row. They're still down by 4, but a little momentum, a little more confidence building.
They've definitely got the right idea. Quick shots.
I'll tell you the other thing, with Pelche having 3 goals, Western's got to start thinking, okay, do we cover him? Do we pay more attention to him? Not that you don't cover him, but do you pay more attention? And if so, does that open things up a little bit? Because obviously you want to get Poole and Domini and Craig going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Arsenault, that's a clean win. And then the back of the stick shovel pass. Ward fakes it through, doesn't give it up to Byrne. Ward goes for a run up high, reverts and heads back down, tosses it over Now it's Burns' turn. Western hanging out at the perimeter for now. Julian Simeone. Going to pass it back to his brother Tristan. Quinn Harding out on him. Rowan McLaughlin will hand it off. Cuts through the middle as Ward circles around the top. Nice slide help there, but good ball movement. Oh, and then a great slide to ram McLaughlin to the ground. Ball is loose, but it's Cody Ward that gets it back and just taps it. Very heads-up play to just swat it over to his teammate, Ryan McLean.
Yeah, Nipissing defense maybe feeling a bit energized by the few goals. Showing some confidence there.
Oh, they're pushing it in transition there, and then the pass low and behind. Will Craig forced him to stop and go back. Recovers well. A.J. Skirving, speaking of recovering, gets back and limits his opportunity. Here's Poole. Oh, great pass down to Pelche.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it was blocked. It was right on goal.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Here's Poole way up at the top. Gillardy watching Poole. Jonathan Gillardy. Passing in tight. There's the slide. Great double team by Western. They come up with the ball. But the ride pressure from Nipissing. They get it back momentarily. Flag coming. Illegal cross-check, the call. That's going to be on Ryan McLean. So Nipissing with 2 straight goals, some momentum, and now a chance on the man up.
Yeah, if they score a quick goal here, we've got quite a game on our hands.
Yeah. Was that a minute? Oh, there's a chance, a diving shot from Pelche, who's feeling it. He wants the ball. He's right on top of the crease. But Keegan Crowley was just waiting for that pass to come. He was going to de-stick Bo Pelche. Pass through the middle of Domini, who tries to just kind of tap it on. He's going to get away, being tracked down. It's out of bounds. Nice hustle by Pelche. Got to be careful. Sorry, that's Riley Sloan, 28 there.
You do have to be careful on that track because you don't want
yeah.
to slip and hurt your wrist or something like this.
Yeah, that's the real danger, right? Is you slip, your feet go out from under you, you fall back.
Stupid
and then
injury.
You put your hands back. And I mean, you're hustling for all you're worth to try and get to that loose ball. And then you've got all that momentum as you hit the track. And like a deer on ice. Wide open pass to Kit. Nobody near him. Nipissing riding on the far side. There's behind the back from Ferris. Stopped by Wood. Ball pops loose. It's going to come all the way out. But just stumbling a little bit was Michael Byrne. Still tracking after and gets that ball. Great effort by Byrne.
Western is just all over these ground balls, I got to say.
Oh, what a passing play to the backdoor finish by Julian Simeone. Cody Ward has been brilliant. Simeone with the great finish, and Western's looking dynamic.
Is that a hat trick for him now?
For Simeone?
Yeah.
No. I think that's his first, isn't it? Julian Simeone?
Yeah, see.
23? I think it's his first. I could be wrong. Let me scroll back through some texts here. I'll tell you, though, Cody Ward's been in on just about everything.
I
Tristan, 27, yeah.
I forgot that.
Yeah, Tristan and Julian both playing for Western.
We have the duo there, the Simeone duo on attack.
The Sudbury natives. Arsenault from Calgary is going to try and win another face-off here for Western. I'll tell you, though, it may not be a hat trick for Julian Simeone, but that's a bunch of points for Cody Ward. He has been outstanding, as he so often has for Western. What a catch and great job protecting the ball there by Simeone, or by It's Philip Mazuka, the Burlington, Ontario native. Tristan Simeone now with the ball. So it's Tristan's 27 and Julian is 23 for you Simeone fans out there. Or new Simeone fans. I guess if you're a Simeone fan, you know who's who.
That's it.
But for the new Simeone fans, those are the brothers and their numbers.
Myself included.
There you go.
Myself included.
Into the final minute of the third quarter, 9-4 Western. Slowing things down a little bit. Scott Dominey with some defensive pressure.
Seems to be just running down the clock here. Ooh.
Oh, I don't know. Pearson Noble was trying to run down the clock. Comes up with it. Penalty coming. It'll be to Dominey, I guess. Oh, and Julian Simeone was thinking about that sharp angle shot. Decided against it. Cody Ward flings it out. Here's Cole Davis. We've seen him do this. That's a nice save, though, by Wood. Play will be blown down.
Save, maybe?
Yeah. I thought he may have got the stick over there.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It was hard to see. The rebound looked like it might have been a foot save.
Yeah. Honestly, goalies in this sport move their sticks so quick, you can hardly tell what's happening. They're unbelievable. Get that stick up high, and the reactions are amazing. Just a few seconds left here in the third quarter. Well, a little more than a few because they're hanging on, being patient. Cole Davis down to Ward. Now they start to go. There's the cut. It's picked off or knocked down at least. Nipissing will get the ball, and they just want this quarter to end. And it will. With the ball in the stick of Braden Trace from Elmville, Ontario. I'm Stephen Stamp with Chris Maderi. We'll take a break for 2 minutes and be back with the fourth quarter of this second quarterfinal of the 2019 Baggataway Cup. It's 9-4 Western over Nipissing. See you in 2 minutes. Welcome back, lacrosse friends, to the 2019 Baggataway Cup. It will be Nipissing possession as they held on to the ball at the end of the quarter. I thought for a moment that Braden Trace may actually just kind of fling the ball down the floor when he got a little ride pressure down the field. It looked like he was thinking about just icing it, basically. So obviously he did not, and he starts with it now at the other end as we've switched ends. Nice little move. Toe drag for one hand. What? Braden Trace putting on a bit of a clinic here. And then puts his goalie under some pressure, throwing it to Wood.
Yeah, so Western has a man up still, I think.
Yes, they do.
And so they're already running kind of a lock-off style ride, and now they really have the opportunity to lock off every single player because of the man up.
Right, and we talked earlier, remember, but we said, hey, when you're poised veteran, you recognize, hey, there's pressure here, there's a guy open. There's no guy open.
There's no guy open in this scenario.
Nope, not this time.
Sure enough, Nipissing managed to clear it with some leg power.
Great job. Great hustle. Nice play by Braden Trace. I've been very impressed with Braden Trace, the close defender from Elmville. And here goes Nipissing. We're a minute into the fourth quarter, and they're driving to try and get something going. Pelche started backing down his man. Western just kind of passes him off. Big collision. He goes through it. Hard twister goal.
Wow.
Pelche is just a superstar tonight.
Body.
Yeah.
Just, wow. Wow, he really was looking very strong on that dodge.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about how they were passing him off, kind of one defender to the next, and then they left him a bit of space and that let him get some momentum up. He just built a little inertia, and they could not knock him off the ball.
Yeah, maybe it was a little bit of a lack of communication on Western on the Western defensive side.
Yeah, you don't want to give him that space to get the 3 or 4 steps and have the momentum built up, but boy, 4 goals I think that is for Bo Pelche. I think he might have some little hardware coming after this game.
I think so.
I'm going to put my money down right now on Bo Pelche for player of the game for Nipissing. He's been outstanding. And I got Cody Ward for Western.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's pretty easy. Ward has the ball right now. He'll lob it up to the top, and Cole Davis will slow it down a little bit. Picked up by Jack Drinkwalter, who's number 17, one of the few guys not wearing some tights. Not sure if I admire that or.
It's a tough guy thing. It's a tough guy thing.
The thing is, you can be a tough guy, but I don't think – I know that the cold doesn't do good things for your joints. And in terms of performance and recovery, you're generally better off to have, when it gets colder, to have your joints covered, have your knees.
I agree. At this temperature, I don't know if that's wise.
Yeah.
But you do look cool.
Yeah, definitely. Simeone behind the net, taking his time. Oh, nice pass. Big hit. Holy cow. Quinn Harding just lowered the boom.
Leveled.
Yeah, Nick Ferris went flying through the air, landed in the crease. Pops back up. He's tough as nails.
Here's that Western ride. Pressure's on. Wins him the ball again.
Ward, skip pass. Nice pass to Julian Simeone. My goodness, Cody Ward is outstanding tonight.
Yeah, we mentioned it in the last game about how many opportunities come in those kind of broken situations off the ride in transition. And Western has really capitalized on a lot of those, it seems.
And the thing, I mean, with Western, they get the pressure on ball. Obviously, we talked about the off-ball pressure. It's not always a case of being right on the man. In that case, Western had guys just in the intermediate zones. Anywhere a player looked, he would see a purple jersey, and there wasn't any space to go past him.
You start to get that fear response a little bit as a player with the ball in that scenario.
Ball scooped up by John Gregg. Will Craig with the tap check. Nice job with the upward strip. But Western's going to get it back. Great job by Will Craig, but Western controls it. And John Kitt, nice outlet pass to Gregg, who just catches and quickly spins to get away from the player with the forecheck pressure. John Gregg's looking for the pole goal.
Everyone's trying to get a goal now.
Here comes Pelche. Passes it off to Craig. Oh, nice moves. Oh, the save, though. How did that not go in? I thought I saw that entering the net. Comes Skirving on the run for the Mustangs. Sprints into the offensive zone. Hands it off, and I thought he was going to go stay.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Make like China. I was at the Worlds in Israel last year, and China would have generally one long pole up on offense. Cool. Sometimes they'd have two go up. They'd send a guy at the top of the crease, and
sometimes they have the fastest shots on the team, the long poles, because of the extra torque you have.
And you couldn't stop the guy from getting a pass if he just holds the stick up.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, you hit him, and that's one thing. But I mean, if they're sturdy, interesting approach.
Unorthodox to say the least.
Julian Simeone coming on strong in the second half here, and he's going to dodge back X. Reverses. Oh, behind the back to his brother Tristan, from his brother Tristan. And the Simeone's putting on a bit of a show here.
It seems like they both dodge to pass, which is a really, really strong way to create opportunity for your teammates.
Well, it's so natural for defenses to pay attention to the dodger.
Yeah.
So somebody's coming open.
Exactly.
There's a twister. Stopped by Wood. Didn't know where the loose ball was. But Dominique passes it back, and what a play. And here comes Dominique. He's going to try and generate something. Ward watching him. Rips one to the middle of Pelche. He's got a man down in the crease. Opts not to use him. And Western's going to strip it. Boy, Pelche's been great, but I didn't like that decision.
No.
Nipissing does retain possession. Tanner Poole wants it up top. He's got it. 8:12 to go. It's 11-5 Western. I'm Stephen Stamp with Chris Mederi. This is the 2019 Baggataway Cup. Nice attempt through the middle. He can't quite connect, though, with Riley Sloan. And the pass goes out of bounds. A.J. Skirving will start with it for Western. Over to Nix. Up to Crowley. All kinds of space for these Western players.
There's another example of that experience on all ends of the field for Western, taking their time on this clear, looking for the space.
And Nipissing only had 5 guys up in the ride because Western has, is so dangerous in the transition that Nipissing is leaving an extra player back.
Yeah.
And it makes it tricky to try and get a lot of pressure on because, like we said, one guy was just wide open with all kinds of space. It seemed like wherever the ball was, there's an option to get the ball to. Interesting facet of how success in one aspect or acumen in one aspect of the game can influence others because that transition forces them to limit their ride.
Absolutely, yeah. It's what makes, or it's part of what makes lacrosse so interesting is that kind of subtle dance, that ebb and flow between patience and pressure. Always at hand, yeah. It's always a changing environment out here.
Long run across the top for Michael Byrne, taking a few whacks. Now he's going to the net. Just trying a little backhand roll shot. Oh, I think we got a penalty, yeah.
Both teams fired up about that call.
Yeah, Camo going to the box.
Man-up opportunity here for Western.
If you're Nipissing, you're thinking, just what we need.
Yeah.
An extra purple person is hard to cover. Cody Ward just sitting at the back door, staying out. He's going to creep in shortly. There he takes the pass, quickly returns. Here's Davis. Back to Ward. Sidearm pass. Ward's going to come in and rip one. That one's stopped by Wood. Nice hustle by Simeone to get back there to get possession. Cody Ward picked the ball up. Holds the stick up to show he's got it. So it was a 1-minute slash to Hayden Camo. Western still on that man up. 5:20 to go here in the fourth. Another shot goes wide, but Ward's there to pick it up on the backup. The penalty's released. Nipissing was hoping to take advantage. You can see they're trying to work their player coming off out of the box in, see if they could get it up to him. But that Western ride, again, made it just so hard for them to get the ball ahead. Mm-hmm. They weren't able to take advantage. Mm-hmm. Oh, the ball's loose. Yeah, that's a fair. Oh, okay. I was going to say a fairly clear possession. It is going to Western. I thought it was a fairly clear possession call with the Nipissing player grabbing on and spinning on the loose ball. Initial indication was it was going to Nipissing. A little disbelief on the face of Nick Ferris. then the call was corrected. And he's like, okay, there we go. This is Kevin Dong in behind the net from Oakville, Ontario. Jeremy Talevy taking advantage of a 6-goal lead with about 4.5 to play, or 4:10 to go play right now, to get some of his players in for some playing time here at the Baggataway Cup.
Looks like Nipissing likes this matchup with the short stick there, locking off all of the defenders.
Yeah, well, you get the subs in, make a play, right?
Yeah.
Dong handled himself pretty well. Comes across to Ferris.
Stall warning just came on. Andrew Wood getting in on some defense.
And it, to some effect, as the ball gets away from Dong and rolls out of play. Be really impressive if he gets in on the offense, goes up to the other end of the field.
This is Nipissing's first Baggataway Cup, right?
Nope, they came last year.
Oh, they came last year.
Remember we were saying they beat Queens, but didn't have
right.
Scott Dominey, so that was tough. They played Brock in the first game, the 2 seed from the West. Mm-hmm. Brock handled that game pretty handily. But this is a huge stride. I mean, Nipissing is making big strides every year under Jason Rudge and the staff. You know, they're really putting some work in, and it's paying off because this is a much more competitive game. And, I mean, they've got Scott Dominey, but Western's done a good job taking him away, but other guys, Pelche and others, have really stepped up. And, you know, I mean, this is certainly not an embarrassment for Nipissing.
Not at all. I mean, for anyone, 11-5 is a
to the 3-time defending champions.
Yeah, plenty close game, like for lacrosse especially. Looks like we have a penalty coming up.
Yeah, it's been a delayed call coming for quite a while. I think the ref actually starting to get the blood flowing out of his arm, and he starting to rue his. Oh, the flag is down. He has dropped it. So he was holding it. He was doing the pending penalty for a while, then decided he had enough of that. Here's Davis. Nice split dodge. The shot and the save by Wood. Man comes flying into his crease. Oh, I hope he's okay. It looks like Davis went down hard.
Yeah, Davis is getting hassled pretty much all the way through that shot, even until after the whistle.
Into the final 2 minutes, which is stop time. Western still up 11-5. Cody Ward hanging on to the ball. Cole Davis over to Ferris. Oh, Cole Davis. Ooh. Nothing dodging there. Just a straight up step and rip. Wow. I'm trying to think of how many times I've seen Cole Davis score a goal like that. I'm so used to him scoring on the run, scoring off the dodge, scoring off the footwork and the elusiveness. And you don't see him just rear back and let it go, and he did there. That was
just time and room from 15 yards. I think every midfielder ever practiced that.
Yeah. You're surprised when you get it, though, right? It's not often that it just kind of opens up just the way things fell.
It's true.
He just had that kind of room. And I think part of it is Nipissing's not really expecting that from him. per se, right? I mean, you got Ward and Ferris and Simeone are kind of your shooters from that kind of position. And Davis, you're expecting a bit more of a dodge. And he just said, you're going to give me this room, I'll take it.
Yeah.
What's that, 3 or 4 for Davis in this game?
That's
4, right? Because he had the 2 on the run, and then the other was the pass.
That's right.
So at least 3 goals and an assist.
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah.
Will Craig under the watch of A.J. Skirving.
Again, we're in stop time now, final moments of the game. Probably under a minute.
Yeah, and Western looking very much like they're going to advance to the semifinals tomorrow, where they will play McGill. They have been McGill's nemesis.
Oh, since before I was there. Oh, my gosh. That was,
That should be quite a game. There are some great games in the history of the rivalry between these franchises.
Oh, yeah.
These schools, and I'm looking forward to that one. That'll be the 1 o'clock game live here on the Stretch Internet portal for McGill Athletics. And before that, 11 o'clock, we will have the Trent Excalibur facing the Brock Badgers in the first semifinal, which a rematch of last year's semi as well.
Yeah, both games should be great. Speaking from experience, McGill against Western, it is always fast. It's always a bunch of passionate players. It's always very physical. It should be a very, very fun game to watch for those of you tuning in.
So, again, 11 o'clock, Trent versus Brock. 1 o'clock, Western versus McGill. And that'll do it. Tonight, the final score 12-5 for Western over Nipissing. The players of the game in this game for Western, no surprise, number 14, Cody Ward.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Dynamite.
The
Dynamite
goals,
today.
the assists, the ground balls, just amazing effort by Cody Ward. And on the other side, stepping up big time, Bo Pelche.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think those were the 2 obvious standouts.
Yeah, it was pretty clear. A lot of times, it's a tough choice. I mean, Cole Davis was very good. There were players that played well, but they were obvious for me as well. So that'll wrap things up on behalf of Chris Mederi and everyone from McGill University. I'm Stephen Stamp. This is Baggataway Cup 2019. Thanks so much to Cross Friends for being with us. See you tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Thanks, Stephen.